Good?
Yeah, how'd you go?
Okay. We just finished up practice this morning. We had another padded practice, and Friday will be a helmet practice. Saturday, obviously, we'll be in pads for the scrimmage. Today, I thought was very good. You know, we did a couple situational things that we haven't done thus far. One being 2-minute offense. We hit that in practice today. Did a couple different things in some run periods as well. And I thought the guys came out there and did a great job. Really from this morning when they showed up to prepare for meetings, through the meetings and into practice, there was a lot more carryover, which is what you want to see from the meetings to practice. And both sides, you know, like you think a good practice should go, there was give and take on both. You know, the offense and the defense both had their moments today. Some good things, plenty of corrections to be made, but as far as the effort went, those guys going out there and being coachable was very good. This week, looking forward, looking towards Friday, that's going to be our alumni practice. We want to try to get as many former players back as we can, and I don't know where the numbers are right now, but I've heard they're good, so hopefully have a great turnout with those guys. And you know, I think we'll see a few more guys coming back, you know, with some of the relationships that they have with some of the coaches on the staff as well. So we're excited about that. And really that day, we're getting work done as a team, but that day is very important as well for our current players to have a chance to meet and be around some of the former players, which I think is extremely important. And really, as a former player, you know, to be invited back and to know that we want you to be a part of what we're doing. We feel very strongly about it. So we're looking forward to Friday from that standpoint. You guys, you come out to practice, you know, there'll be guys, we encourage those former players to be at practice, talk to them, guys that are around. They'd expect that if you did. And we'll come together at the end and let those guys have a chance to get together. We'll eat together after practice is over as well. Saturday, big day. You know, on Saturday, maybe a little different than a normal spring game had we been here for 3-4 years. I know one year we drafted teams because we had the ability to do that. We'd been together for a while, had a little bit of fun. We still plan on having some fun, but it's going to be competitive, and guys are going out there to still prove certain areas that they're capable of being the starter in those positions and knowing what we expect of them. And so for us, the mindset really is to go out there and put a lasting impression for the rest of summer into that one final scrimmage. So the coaches have videotape from 3 scrimmages, including the spring game, of what to look at and kind of where we need to go and what our personnel might look like going into camp. So we're excited about that. It'll be an offensive versus defense format. One team going one direction, which will be Boise State, one team going another direction, which will be the Broncos, and that's how the scoring will be done. And first half will be played like a normal game with kicking situations. It may be versus scouts during that time, but it's still going to be normal situations as they come up. We'll come in for about a 12-minute halftime, only for let guys just get a little bit of a break, but also to go over our halftime organization just for the season. You know, we'll go in there and actually get into the positions in the locker room of where guys will go during halftime. That way the players can think about it and we can make adjustments over the summer if we want to change things up. We'll come out for the second half. We'll have a running clock of 10 minutes there, anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes, and then we'll finish up the scrimmage and a little less kicking situations at that point, maybe just setting the ball once we've gone through our kicking game that we need. But our guys are excited about it. You know, the challenge this week has been 20,000 to get out there, and we had a great response from a lot of people, and I hope we see that. I think that'd be great. You know, a lot of people are excited about it, and a lot of people that have come here in the past have supported the Broncos in spring. You know, bring somebody with you and bring somebody along, and we want to make this atmosphere as fun as possible and get a chance for our guys to play in front of the crowd and a little kickoff before we get play against Colorado State. All right, so we'll get the fans back in there and get them going a little bit before summer hits. But overall, you know, I like where we're at as far as just the effort, the energy, how we're practicing, and you know, I'm looking forward to the summer where these guys get a chance to work these schemes and get better at them and then perfect them in fall camp. So with that, open it for questions.
Start with the facility a little bit because we were sitting down with the tours. So you came in here, what, in December or whatever, hadn't seen it before. What was your impression? What caught your eye when you went through it the first time?
Well, when I had my interview, I landed here, and it was about midnight, and Mark Coyle drove me around the complex, didn't take me into it, which I thought was a little bit weird, because he thought somebody might be hanging around there. I'm like, it's midnight. You guys aren't working this late. So I was very anxious to see it. So when I did get the job, we landed, my family and I, we landed about 10 o'clock at night, and the first thing we did was come over here, just to look at it. And you guys got a chance to see it today. Obviously, it's aesthetically pleasing. I think there's a lot of things in there that you look at when you walk in the entrance and what you're trying to show as far as Boise State, the brand, with the uniforms, with the trophies, with the conference that you play in, with the hammer that's a big, large picture up there, with the wall there that talks about culture, and if you look at it, it says bleed blue in it. When you really start to look at it, I mean, there's a lot of things in there that symbolize the program right when you walk in, and then as you go through the buildings, everything's functional, really from that standpoint. When you break it down, the coaches' offices are right across from their meeting rooms, so you get a chance to see the players, and if you look down, or when you're downstairs, it's kind of a spider web, but it's very easy from that locker room to get to everywhere you need to go. And so I think they did a great job with the idea behind it of how they wanted to build it. I think they've done a nice job with how they designed it, with the graphics and where things are placed, and where guys, as they walk in or come through the facility, they see things that you want them to see each and every day. And then just overall, space. I mean, this is as nice as anywhere in the country as far as just the square footage and what you can get done. Our locker room, the structure of it. I love the steel locker rooms. I think, that expresses that bleed blue mentality that you have in there, or that we talk about. The training room facility with the hydrotherapy in there, that's obviously a place where guys can go that they want to not necessarily be, but when they are, there's a lot of positives to being in that environment. The players' lounge, majority of our guys, they spend time there each and every day, and so if you want to find somebody, you walk down there, which is exactly what you want. You hope they're staying in the building because you may want to grab them for a football question, or you just want to be around them. And so overall, I mean, when I walked in here and being at different places, and not just Texas and Arkansas State, but getting a chance to go professional development, being in a lot of different facilities, it's as nice as anywhere I've been, and the way it's set up functionally is as good as any place I've seen, and I love the idea behind it and how they did it.
How do you the tradition, the history from the players obviously is a huge part of this, this program. Everywhere you turn, there's another wall with a former player thing, or something for the hammer or the rings. I mean, it seems like you wanted to intertwine, or you didn't, but I mean, the intertwine of the history is everywhere you look.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of, as you walk through here, I mean, you embrace the past as you walk through here. And I think it says this is what's been done, and I also think as you walk through here and with the words that go along with some of those pictures, it also basically says that needs to continue. If you're really looking at the different words in here, I think there's 22 different words throughout the building, 22 different ones. There's 2 or 3 that come up twice. Play hard, play smart, those type of things, if you just walk through the building. But everywhere you go, I think it's, even with, Coach Pete and the words they had, I mean, it's still talking about the Boise State program. And, it even starts with, that goal that's right up there. That continues. And so I think they did a great job from that standpoint. There's still more opportunities. You look at it, I mean, not every wall is covered, and you can do that, but right now it's simple, it's clean, it says what it needs to say, and I like that about it.
How much of an impact has it had with recruits?
Huge. It's huge. And I think when you walk into this building, as far as the recruits and how they've walked in here, or the guys that have signed with us have talked about this place, it's impressive. And then I think that just ties into, everything else, from the indoor facility, and you go up into the Stickle Sky Center, to the blue on the field, the layout of the stadium, to the new video board and the video screens on the side. I mean, it's all the home of the blue when you drive up. I mean, I think it's been all put together strategically, and I think it's very appealing to the players when they come in here, and really, to be honest with you, they get real jacked up about the uniforms in the locker room, and I think the families get excited about, okay, this is where they're going to be, and to be in this environment and to be in something, you know, as nice as this is, I think that puts a lot of comfort, you know, in the families as well.
Those words and phrases, obviously you've been around here before, but
Mm-hmm.
are you comfortable with all those? Are those all things that you wanted to have, or do you want to tweak some of those to fit what you think? Or
Yeah, we'll tweak some. Most of them, you know, for the most part, I mean, it's really about as pure as what this program's been about that are written on the walls. I don't think there's too much fluff or extra words that shouldn't be on there. And really, I wouldn't change very much at this point. I walked around the facility and looked at every one of them and how they apply and things we say. And you know, for the most part, I mean, a lot of guys like myself and Marcel and guys that have been through here, I mean, that's about as pure as what we believe. You know, are a lot of these words up throughout this building and that we use in our meeting rooms. There'll be some different phrases. You know, there's no ATF up there, you know, right now at this point. But that doesn't mean that we won't. We know there's opportunities to do that, and then things can change as we go. But right now, the setup and what we're trying to get done, it fits, and we'll change accordingly.
you had a, man, I wouldn't have done this, or man, I wish they would have put this in this spot instead. Any of those moments as you've gone through the thing?
Gosh. You know, not really. Not really. I think there's, I haven't really found that yet. I think initially I might have thought a couple times, then you start to think about it and the way it's set up. I'll tell you one. I will tell you one, because there's a meeting room that's right across. We have a specialist meeting room, which I've never seen. All right, we have a meeting room for the specialists, which is great. But every office, for the most part, all the coaches' offices are right across from the meeting room, except for the quarterbacks. And the reason was, you know, that room was just a little bit tight for all the QBs. They felt like, so they jockeyed the room around, so the rooms are actually on the opposite ends in the building there. So I guess if you were looking back on it, you'd make that room bigger, so then truly everybody's office is right across from there. Other than that, you can see why they did it. You know, so you go back and you're like, all right, that's not that big a deal.
You gotten tired of looking at Kellen's face yet? It's all
Absolutely
over the place.
not. Absolutely not. No. And Taylor Tharp, now that he's back, he goes in that room every day and looks at his picture on the wall next to Kellen. No, I think, you know, obviously Kellen's up through the building in here. You know, Corey Hall is up through here as well. And, you know, as you walk back through here, there's some historical pictures of previous coaches and teams. There's Jeff Pittman on the wall when he played here down by the weight room that I think the players have finally caught on to. They're getting pictures of it. So, you know, I think all that embrace the past theme is really in there, and that's kind of what I took from it when I walked through here. It was like, well, it's all there, and then everything else is saying it needs to continue and improve.
And Brad found your picture too, so you.
Oh yeah. I made sure it was in here. It wasn't here before. I put that in there.
How many Bronco heads are
How many, in this room?
there in this whole facility?
I haven't counted those yet.
You
I'm
got-
a little OCD, but I haven't counted all the Bronco heads. I appreciate you bringing it up because I'll have to do that next.
Bryan, this so-called Big Five conferences keep bringing in all this money for the new TV deals and bowl tie-ins and all of that. And obviously, this facility is a big step toward keeping up with them. How concerned are you about Boise State or Arkansas State or the schools outside that being able to keep up?
Yeah, it's always it's an arms race, and there's always, you know, money when it comes down to it. You know, there's what else can you do? I mean, there's some facilities out there that some money's been put into that, you know, there's some things you're just going, that's unbelievable. You know, I guess the one thing from that standpoint is, you know, this facility we have right now is as nice as any I've been around, and we have it, and it's impressive, and the people that have come in here have been impressed by it, and they look at it, and it's exactly what Boise State needs. This is exactly what we need. And we can add TVs and different lights and different things like that, or dress it up or paint, whatever. This is exactly what we need. So to me, we've shown we got the ability to do what we need for our program, all right, as for recruiting, for for our players, to show the direction we're headed. As long as we can continue that for what we need, then that doesn't concern me. What would concern me is if we didn't have that ability to do that, to show what Boise State's all about and express it like this, then I would be concerned. And I think most programs would be as well. And, you know, Arkansas State, before I left, you know, the goal, we were building we were building a football complex, an indoor facility, and they're building an indoor facility. They're breaking that down. They're breaking ground on that now.
Do you have a favorite feature, a favorite something about this building?
The locker room. Yeah, I like every time. I like the setup of the locker room. I like the colors. I like the words. I think when you walk in there, that was probably the most impressive. And the logo, you know, it's similar to, you know, when I was at Texas, you know, there was a logo up on the ceiling like that and not on the floor, which, you know, I've seen ones where it's on the floor and you can't walk around it or touch it and all that, but you know what, it's right up above you there, and when it lights up at night and the blue lights are in there and it just kind of glows with the orange lettering, that's as cool of a place that I've seen any type of locker room I've been in. So I thought they did a tremendous job on that. And then obviously everything else in this building is very nice, but that one hits you when you walk in there.
Commit you got the other day said he was looking for 3 things in a football program, and one of those 3 was the quality of the facilities. I mean, is it to the point that you have to have something like this to compete in recruiting? Well,
you got to have facilities. Yeah, you do. You got to have, and I say got to. I mean, this is what you want to have. You know, you want to have the ability to have an environment that's very nice, you know, that guys get excited about. And I think that's really what, I mean, you want to break it down in sports, and these guys are anywhere from 18 to 22. You get them excited. They're obviously good players. They're going to go out there, and their bodies and minds are going to do things. So they enjoy walking into an environment. They like being around it. I think that's exactly what you're looking for initially. And then, you know, ultimately you're going to fill it with the right people, and it makes it even more fun. But, you know, that locker room, that training room, that players' lounge down there, I mean, those guys, that's where most of those guys will hang out throughout the day. In the weight room, you know, with they got an ability to get some snacks in there, but you saw the weight room there. The weight room is, you know, the other thing about that weight room too, just functionally, if you ask me about another favorite place, when you look in there, you can get a lot of stuff done. And then, you know, we opened it up the other day. A bunch of the old fogies were in there working out, and Coach Caldwell had them lift up the door in there just to get some sun in there and a little breeze. And I mean, it's nice. That's a nice setup. So I really like that feature as well.